Despite that, England's Deputy Chief Medical Officer has urged those who have had the vaccine to stick to social distancing rules, as our UK editor Paul Brand reports.
The weather imposed its own restrictions today, the roads even quieter. But once the snow's melted, there'll still be little hope of heading out, as we were told today that lockdown's here to last.
There is early evidence that the lockdown is starting to bring cases down, but we're a long way from being low enough, because the case rate was incredibly high, and you can see the pressure on the NHS.
To relieve it, another 32 vaccine centres will be open this week in England, including at this museum in Dudley, where they filmed Peaky Blinders. But if this pandemic's to become history, those who've already had the jab, including here in Wembley today, are being told to stick to the rules.
They still said, you need to still look after yourself. We still need to maintain the government guidelines, and that's what we're going to do.
She's still keeping doors and and washing our hands and wearing masks. Yeah. And then she'll have the next vaccination, and hopefully then we'll be back to move forward.
The concern isn't just what's here, but what's queuing to come in. The government will consider tougher measures at the border this week, as scientists warn vaccines might not work on new variants.
As we move through 2021, the biggest threat to us in the future, when many more people are vaccinated and incidence and prevalence of the disease is low in the UK, imported cases are the #1 concern. You see that in other countries around the world.
Life might have looked a little different for some today, but while cases are falling and vaccinations are rising, the forecast for the next few weeks remains much the same. Paul Brown, TV News.
Heavy snowfall across large parts of the UK today has caused widespread travel disruption and four COVID vaccination centres to shut in Wales. And there are warnings this afternoon about dangerously icy roads as the melted snow freezes. Although the official advice is to stay home, for many these snowy conditions have brought a welcome distraction from the monotony of lockdown, with the hashtag Narnia trending on social media. Dan Rivers reports.
It had been forecast, but when it came, the snow created extremely hazardous driving conditions. This was the M3, where there had been several accidents. Elsewhere, A roads were thick with ice, slowing traffic to almost a walking pace. The AA said they'd rescued 3,500 stranded cars today as gritters struggled to keep roads clear.
Most of the gritters have been out on the motorways, but because of the lack of traffic, it doesn't actually clear the snow so that the grit can be effective.
In Devon, one gritter overturned as it was trying to treat a road. Tonight there are warnings ice will remain a significant risk. The snow had also hampered vaccine delivery in places. 4 vaccine centres were forced to close in South Wales, with patients told their jabs will be rescheduled. For many, today was a welcome relief from the monotony of lockdown. A chance for children to get out into a landscape.
Geometry Dash.
Thank gosh we've got something to say.
I don't know, I just played this one board, I guess.
You were super excited, something different? Yeah. Something fun to do, out and about. Having today has been a respite that I probably needed. As the whole country probably needed.
For children who've been off school and nursery for weeks, this was magical. In Bristol, even the snowmen were COVID compliant, a symbol of a winter which has taken such a toll on so many. In many places the snow is already melting, but while it lasted, it provided the perfect excuse for some socially distanced fun across a country that certainly needed it. Dan Rivers, ITV News, Hampshire.
Elsewhere, a raid involving 300 people was broken up by police in East London last night. The Met Police said more than £15,000 in fines were issued in what they described as a serious and flagrant breach of COVID rules. And Nicola Sturgeon has accused Boris Johnson of being frightened of democracy in his opposition to another referendum on Scottish independence. Their comments followed a series of opinion polls published in the Sunday Times on the future of the Union. They found voters across the UK believe Scotland is likely to become independent within the next decades. 11 Chinese miners who were trapped deep underground for 2 weeks have been pulled to safety. An explosion in the shaft of a gold mine has blocked their only route out, leaving them trapped in the dark 500 metres down. Rescues are continuing to look for another 10 miners still unaccounted for. John May has more.
Emerging from the cold, dark depths of the earth, where he had been entombed for 2 weeks, the first of the Chinese miners whose uncertain fate captured a nation's attention, and whose survival seems to many almost miraculous. A blindfold protects his eyes from daylight. He is said to be extremely weak. Then 10 more were rescued, some with support, able to walk, despite an ordeal that began with a still unexplained explosion that trapped them more than half a kilometre underground. One miner is confirmed dead. The search for 10 more, with whom there has been no contact, continues.
No test time.
They're obviously going to be very, very weak. The lights will have long diminished, etc. So they're sitting there in the darkness and they're listening for any sign of hope that someone is trying to get through to them, and hopefully
I can sing so well.
And hopefully we finish up with just continuing good news.
Rescue workers have been able to send down food and medicine to those they've now freed, and to receive messages in return. But despite today's success, the same is not the case for those still missing. And with water levels below ground rising, China's poor safety record in the mining industry might well claim further lives. John Ray, ITV.
Nothing.
Sport now, and in the FA Cup fourth round, 2 Premier League clubs came against teams a division below them today. Leicester City got through against.
What is Tyler's GTA server dead? No one plays it.
3 times in the second half, including this one from James Maddison. Leicester winning by 3 goals to 1. And Chelsea are safely through to the 5th round. They beat Luton Town in the Championship 3-1 at Stamford Bridge. In personal triumph, the striker, Tammy Abraham, was finished all 3 of Chelsea's goals. And in the cricket, Joe Root fell just short of a second successive double century in Sri Lanka. The England captain was run out for 186 off the final ball of the 3rd day to keep England's hopes alive in the second test. Well, England finished the day on 339 for 9, 42 runs behind Sri Lanka. Now, despite the snow offering perfect camouflage, a rare albino squirrel has been spotted foraging for food in Sussex. And the Forestry Commission says only 1 in 100 adult squirrels are born with white fur. The condition is caused by a rare gene inherited from its parent. And that is it for now. I'm back at 10. See you then. Bye-bye. See some heavy downpours all over the country. Heinz no added sugar beans sponsors ITV National Weather. Good evening to you. Any lingering sleet and snow this Sunday will tend to fade. Freezing cold, some misty fog patches, turning frosty with widespread icy slippy conditions through the night and into tomorrow morning. Extending to parts of Wales and Midlands, and it's down here in the next few hours. A wintry mix of rainy, sleety snow across those coastal spots. We stand here. A few showery outbreaks, giving sleet and snow through parts of Pembrokeshire, Devon and Cornwall, and a touch more wintry weather to the western side of Scotland and northern England, with some snow before the end of the night. And as temperatures fall, frozen ground, a sharp frost, and turning dangerously icy, as low as -9, -10 through parts of northern England and the Midlands, and bitterly cold into New Day.
Literally past the hardest part of the dog to easy goodness. Always me. Just me.
Otherwise, beautifully bright with sparkling.
I am live streaming right now, so I'll probably be pretty short.
Heinz no added sugar beans
First I do this. Oh, dude. I literally live streaming. Yeah, on YouTube. Huh? Yeah, on the live stream. Yeah. His identity is being spread. We don't like it. It's literally TTV Savage. That's it. No underscores, just TTV Savage. Yeah, between TTV and Savage. TTV space Savage. I've got like 8 subs or something like that. Woo! No.
At the moment, there's some confusion about what we can and can't do. Here's what you can do with Box. You can get top name boilers, Worcester Bosch, Valent, Baxi and Ideal from the #1 rated gas installation company on Trustpilot. You can get a boxed quote online, so it's COVID safe. You can compare the boxed quote to your British gas quote. So if you're canny, you'll use your boxed. What you can't do is say that wasn't clear. Cue the canned laughter.
I asked her to have a word with Dad, but she says he's adamant. He can't bring her on.
Who's this? You said it's Dad's son.
We're not yet there.
It's curtains.
That's not helping anyone.
Went to bury Harry at home.
We need to locate him.
Finding Alice. Watch the full series now on ITV Hub. Continues tonight at 9 on ITV.
And now let's see what stories have been making the headlines where you are today with the ITV News.
Oh, this is so annoying. I'm always... Bro, I'm dying. I never die to in practice mode. And as soon as I go back in normal mode, I'm literally done there, like, every time. Pissing me off.
Attacked on Linwood Road on Thursday afternoon. A 14-year-old boy was arrested in Birmingham last night, while a 15 and 16-year-old were arrested in Walsall in the early hours of this morning. Snow fell on much of the region for most of the day today, causing problems on the roads and railways, and closing 4 of Birmingham City Council's COVID testing centres. Despite the fact that leaving home for leisure activities is not allowed because of the pandemic, many grabbed a sledge and headed for the nearest hill. Come on, Watkinson, your thoughts.
Stop it. Roads over Suffolk Coalfield, the snow began to fall. Within an hour, it had rendered our towns and villages unrecognisable, our roads almost impassable. Not that troubled sledgers at Hawley Woods in Sandwell. Stretching the definition of essential travel and exercise, perhaps. If Highways England could choose a day for this to happen, they would probably pick a Sunday during lockdown. The M5 and many other roads were deserted. For those who chose to travel, the going was tough, and many rail services were suspended.
Set me off, Mark.
On the M54 in Shropshire, a reminder of why police and motoring groups advise against driving in the snow.
This morning alone at the AA, we actually recovered about 3,500 vehicles. Some of them stuck in the snow, some of them broken down, some of them flat batteries. So busy out there and pretty treacherous roads.
So a good day.
Oh my god!
COVID testing centres in
So
Birmingham
annoying,
closed.
man.
Shuffle.
The yellow weather warning will last until midnight.
Safe.
Callum Watkinson, ITV News.
In other news, the Backcountry Museum will reopen its doors tomorrow as a mass vaccination centre for those in the area. With a number of centres opening next as part of the government's vaccination programme. Health officials have said the site will be a game changer.
important place for us in the Black Country in terms of delivering the vaccine to all of our population. It complements the services that we've got within primary care. We've got all of primary care stood up delivering vaccines, and it also complements the services we've got to our hospitals.
That's the football now. The FA Cup fourth round provided an almighty
Oh, dude, why?
The action at Villa Park, which was host to the weekend's only Premier League game. Jay Gilbert has more.
Dean Smith was forced to watch this game in the stands after his red card against Manchester City. But he saw his Aston Villa side make easy work of Newcastle United. Fabian Shaw's failed clearance fell in the path of Ollie Watkins, who headed Villa in front. Villa Transfer Always Rockets sealed a comfortable win. Villa jumped to 8th, but have games in hand over the teams above them. 72 league places separate Cheltenham Town and Manchester City, with the home side looking for one of the biggest shocks in the competition's history. On the hour mark, the upset was on the cards. Ben Tozer's long throw was turned in by Alfie May. In the last 10 minutes, Manchester City's multi-million-pound talent began to shine. Phil Foden scored the equaliser, and the 2019 winners scored 2 more to advance to round 5. Walsall won their first game of the calendar year after beating Port Vale 3-1. Elijah Adebayo was first to along ball to give Walsall the lead. Tom Coughlin's 35-yard free kick went all the way in for Port Vale's equaliser. Adebayo put Walsall back in front after the break, but Vale goalkeeper Scott Brown completely missed the back pass for Walsall's third.